In recognition of 3 decades of South Africa's democracy, the Nelson Mandela Foundation is presenting a photographic exhibition showcasing the culture, history and identity of the youth who are the first to be born into a democratic state. Dubbed Born Free, Generation of Hope, narrates the country's journey in the past 3 decades through the eyes of the generation born free from enforced racial segregation and discrimination and experienced equal opportunities. This will include a documentary which opens a dialogue about the journey of the born-free generation. And for more on this, let's now speak to Nelson Mandela Foundation Head of Archives, Razia Saleh, who joins us via our video link. Razia, thank you so much for your time this evening here on SABC News. Firstly, let's start off here. Tell us more about this exhibition that you are undertaking as the Nelson Mandela Foundation.
Hi, Mbali. I think in the introduction you said the exhibition is called Born Free, a Generation of Hope. So last year was 30 years of our democracy, and we felt that it's important to tell the story of young people as they experienced the legacies of apartheid, because they weren't, they were born after the end of apartheid. And we thought it's important to reflect for them to reflect on the last 30 years and to show us the way forward. So that's how the exhibition came about.
And I mean, when you look into this exhibition, I mean, these are young people in South Africa just on the cusp of democracy, were born free, as according to your exhibition title. One would also then say, what would be the significance of this exhibition, particularly for generations that follow after?
So often the stories of South Africa are told by older people, and we thought since youth make up a large proportion of our population, it's important to reflect on their stories as well. So we look at the diversity of South Africa, urban, rural, racial, intergenerational, and its discussions and people people in the areas where they live, where they interact with each other. So it tells the story from those perspectives, whether they're in integrated schools, through sports, in various different ways. So we think that those stories are important, and they reflect back on the legacies of apartheid, but also look forward to hope and to a future that is quite different from the past.
And Razia, maybe tell us more about, those who were involved in this exhibition, those young people who were born in 1994 in South Africa, and the stories that they shared, and the stories that stood out for you in these, this exhibition in particular.
So this exhibition is photographs and video recordings that award-winning Dutch photojournalist Ilvin Okachiden did through the 3 decades, and it's been curated by Newo Netsema, a South African, and a Nigerian, Azungwa Bogu. So it's like an international collaboration. We also collaborated with the Apartheid Museum, and the Dutch Embassy supported us as well through the curation of the exhibition. So the Ilvi came to South Africa in the early part, in the early 1990s, and she just found it so interesting and fascinating talking to young people. So she followed a number of them through almost 18 years, from the time when they were young right up to the present situation. So the exhibition is curated. It's not all the people that she followed, but it's the different types of people who reflect the diversity and complexity of South African society. So you see people living in informal settlements, you see people living in high-rise buildings in the rural area, people attending integrated schools, but there's also, Afrikaner nationalists who still hark back towards the old South African flag, the vier kleur of the 4 colors, the old, even pre-1910, the Union flag of South Africa. So it does look, it's a lens, it's a microcosm of South Africa today. And for me, with a few photos that actually stand up is an interracial couple. The Afrikaner, commandos going through some parade and actually tramping on the new South African flag, and that, it's well, and in a current situation where you have people looking for refugee status in the USA, I think it has a lot of resonance. And then there's photos of various schools where a mixed group of people are participating in swimming or in sports, in soccer and things like that.
And why would you say it was important for the foundation to capture some of these very unique stories? When the Center of Memory was established in 2004 by Madiba, one of the mandates that he gave us was to tell the stories of South Africans, not just his own story. And we think that telling the story of young people follows that mandate. So it's not just about Madiba, but it's about us, South Africans, and what stories we can tell and how we can shape our own future. So the youth in the exhibition have agency, there's activism. So it's not just the story of doom and gloom. It's young people who, through sometimes very hard circumstances, make a difference in their own lives and in the difference of other people's lives. And if South Africans, would like to catch a glimpse of this exhibition, how can they get in touch with the Nelson Mandela Foundation so that they are able to witness some of these stories in which you are telling through your archives department?
Yes, so they can come and visit us at the Center of Memory. We open Monday to Saturday. On Saturday, we open from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. You don't need to make an appointment. You can just come to our gates and we'll let you in. We also post snippets on our social media. We encourage debate and discussions. We also would love to have school groups and community groups who are interested in coming as a group. They can contact us and we will make sure that we give them a tour of the exhibition.
All right, Razia, thank you so much for your time. That's Razia Saleh. She is from the Nelson Mandela Foundation and she's the head of archives, telling us more about that exhibition which is being showcased at the Center of Memories at the Nelson Mandela Foundation. Of course, telling very unique stories from South Africa post-democracy.